Hello and welcome to FTTR. I'm Ewan McQuaid, and this is a recommendation piece. I don't really know what to call this, but this is my sort of recommendation of how to get into wrestling if you are not a fan at the moment. Now, how to get in, because when you think about wrestling, the storytelling it can be subtle. It can sometimes be way too on the nose. But there must be a perfect jumping in point in order to gain new viewers to your product. And I was thinking about this for a long time. What would be the perfect spot? Now, my recommendation would be All Elite Wrestling because they put on cracking show after cracking show. However, just hit my mic. Particularly with their current storylines, how would you understand what is happening? Now bear with me. So you've got Kenny Omega as the world champion. He's embroiled in this feud with Jon Moxley still. And you've got all the other Lucha Brothers involved as well because they took out Penta. So they've got the one other Lucha Brother. They've got Death Triangle involved. And then you've got this whole story of, the Bullet Club reforming and Gallows and Anderson coming over and helping Kenny, who all have history with the Young Bucks. It could be quite daunting. It seems like there's a lot of sort of back reading that you have to do before enjoying the product as a whole. Same with the Inner Circle stuff and the Darby Allin Sting stuff, and particularly probably the Cody stuff, because you'd be like, why on earth is he fighting Shaq? So maybe AEW isn't the answer. It's probably, for my money, it's the best wrestling product, but I feel like they need a big sort of reset to sort of get the new viewers on board. I would actually say that in order to get back into wrestling again, SmackDown is probably the show to watch. Now, that is because it is building a lot of stories revolving to WrestleMania. You've got pre-established characters on there like Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and I think that is the biggest selling point for a new fan would be Roman Reigns is the top guy. People maybe know about Roman Reigns, but him being at the top of the card really solidifies that show and keeps it together. And I think particularly after the Royal Rumble and the post-Royal Rumble episode, they are starting fresh. Raw is all over the place. Raw is just not accessible to any new fans because it's pretty much god awful. But yeah, SmackDown has good matches. It has, good stories. Not necessarily amazing stories, but it's being led by an amazing story. And there's not sort of a lot of diving into the back catalogue of all these characters to understand what's going on. So SmackDown would be my top choice. NXT I think has its own issues. It's a bit sort of scattergun at the moment. Just sort of bang. Did that work? No, let's do something else. It doesn't seem to have as concise storytelling as it did a few years ago. But the work rate is there, so that could easily draw in fans. You've got the work rate plus, some decent character stuff. So yeah, it's more about what a new fan is coming to wrestling for. Are they coming for the matches? Are they coming for the characters? Are they coming because they've never seen a wrestling match before in their life and they just want to experience what one is? That is why I think my pick would actually be SmackDown over All Elite Wrestling. Now, All Elite Wrestling is for hardcore fans. That is like, how would I describe it? It's like if a fan tried to jump into, one division at the moment, they would be like, this has some amazing Easter eggs, it has some incredible, throwbacks to different franchises, spoilers, but it's all there for the fan, and that's what the MCU sort of, it's built itself around. It's built itself around being for the fans and the hardcore fans who followed the arc. That is what All Elite Wrestling is. It builds on all their pre-existing relationships in different companies and the characters that they had in different companies. So yeah, if you get hooked on SmackDown, follow that path to All Elite Wrestling, because All Elite Wrestling is sort of like, what's the word? It's the best. It is the best, but it's not the most accessible piece of wrestling. So yeah, is that what I think? Are those my thoughts? I actually put SmackDown above All Elite Wrestling on how to bring in new fans. I would say yeah, probably SmackDown. Yeah. Wasn't expecting to think SmackDown. But yes, those are my thoughts on is wrestling sort of accessible and how it can be accessible. The answer is SmackDown and AEW. So let me know how you got into wrestling. That is what I'd really like to know. I feel like that's an interesting talking point. And yeah, are you following wrestling now? What do you think of the current products? Let me know down in the comments, and hit subscribe and help out from the top rope. Thank you all ever so much, and have a nice day.